Hello everyone and welcome back to the first ever vlog with the Schillering Hub Talking Hospitality podcast. Today I have Daniel Doppler from QuickText to talk about a quick visit here in Prague, and he stopped by here in the Casino Ambassador for a little chat and talk a little bit about structured data and something that's super important now in the hotel industry. Daniel, welcome.
Welcome, nice to see you. I'm very honored to be the first person to inaugurate that vlog, okay? And we are going effectively to speak about data and structured data in hospitality and why it's so important.
Yes, thank you for that. And let's start talking about you and QuickText. So what did you do before QuickText?
Unfortunately, I'm a mathematician, basically. It happens to people. I'm French and mathematician. That means really nobody's perfect. And my first job was working in insurance company, but I have to wear a tie, and it was not good for my brain, you know. Then I decided to do something else. I went to work on the advertising industry because I thought it was more fun. Yeah, by the way, it was really more fun. Okay, then advertising, I create an advertising company, and after I create an IT company, and after I create a yachting company for someone who's seasick, that's not too bad, okay? and the last company I have created, also a furniture company, and the last company I've created is QuickText, is an AI company for hospitality, and we are doing that for 7 years now.
From mathematics to furniture to AI for hospitality. That's an amazing journey. I was actually very glad to be part of QuickText for about 9 months when I learned a lot about sales, I learned a lot about AI, and I think that actually was what set me on the path that I am today. So I'm actually very grateful to you guys, to Martin as well, for putting me here. But let's talk about data and try to understand that, because I believe that some hoteliers struggle to understand what that concept, these new words are coming up, and trying to understand really the value of data. What is data? So if you could explain, what is structured data?
Yeah. I'm going to give you an example to start with, and this example will show you the value of the data, okay? We have 1,700 hotels all over the world, and specifically, I remember we have a different hotel in Courchevel. Courchevel in France, it's a very high-end ski resort. It's very, very expensive. And one day we saw a conversation by a Russian girl. She asked a question to Velma. Velma is the name of her AI, okay? Kind of avatar. And that girl asked a question to Velma, and the only question she asked was, do you have a bottle warmer? What is a bottle warmer? You know, for the baby, you know, okay? And Velma answered, yes, we have a bottle warmer. Okay. Just after, that girl booked a room for 30,000 euros, just with one question. And what's the value of the data? The value of the data, that means Velma was able to just give a simple information, we have a bottle warmer. But what does it mean? It means this information is somewhere, okay? That's the power of structured data. That means we have this hotel working with us as a database that we have provided them, and in database somewhere there's indicated bottle warmer, yes, no, okay? That's called the structured data. What is important to keep in mind is that an hotel is more or less 3,000 data point. That means 3,000 information. That means the price of the breakfast is a data point. The length of the swimming pool is a data point. That's obvious data point, but at some data point that are not obvious at all. Data point that can give you the dress code of the restaurant is not obvious. Is the Wi-Fi covering the swimming pool? Is not obvious at all. And what you have to know is, clearly, today, 60% of the information of an hotel is not formalized. That means it doesn't exist anywhere. It's just in the brain of the people. Obviously, if the information doesn't exist anywhere, you can have the best AI in the world. The best AI in the world won't be able to give you that information that doesn't exist. That's the power of structured data. At the beginning of the journey, when you're entering the world of AI, what you have to do is to collect this data that is not formalized, to put it in the database called QData in our case, and it's called the famous structured data.
Because now you said something very interesting, because many hoteliers, when I speak to them and talk about that, and they say, no, but we have data, we got everything in Word files, and we have our spreadsheets, and we have everything. And But what's the real difference on finding that data when you need it? Is that the main difference?
Okay, that means the data, in that case, when we have a structured data, that means all the data are only on one place. Okay, that's very important. The data must be easy to update. Okay, the data must be accessible for everyone. Okay, because if you have a Word document here, an Excel document here, a PDF document here, a fact sheet somewhere, frankly, nobody knows where's the data and who did it, when they did it. Okay, is the data has been updated 2 days ago or 20 years ago? You see what I mean? That means the accuracy of the data is also important.
You spoke about, like, the first example you said about that lady that just asked one question about a baby bottle, ended up booking a 30,000 euro hotel. How can really the structured data drive the customer to book and make a decision where they're going to stay for their holidays?
I'm going to give you another example. Imagine you have two hotels, exactly the same hotel, one just near the other one, exactly the same. The first one has a parking with an electric plug to charge your Tesla, you see? The second one doesn't have one, okay? But if you ask the first one, do you have a charging station? Nobody is aware to give the answer. The second one, they don't have an electric charging station, but they're able to tell you the closest charging station is just 50 meters on the right. Where are you going to book? If you have the Tesla, you're going to book to the second one who doesn't have a charging station, because this one is going to give you an information, okay? That means the power of information. That means in that case, you're going to book in the hotel who doesn't have a charging station. That's crazy.
It's true, it's true. And this structured data can influence search engines anyhow.
Yes. In which way it's possible to give, I speak French suddenly, you know. In which way we are going to influence the Google ranking. After 3 months in a hotel, Velma will know very precise thing about the hotel that nobody knows. Velma will know exactly the question people ask to the hotel. Question number 1, restaurant. Question number 2, the bar. Question number 3, the rooftop. Question number 4, the check-in, blah, 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 you name it. Something crazy that we discovered. The question that people ask in English, in French, in Czech, in Spanish are not the same. Don't ask me why, it's like that, okay? On the other hand, but it's easier to imagine, the question that people ask in the winter and the question people ask in the summer are not the same, specifically for the hotel in Canada, if you see what I mean, okay? But what does it mean? It means that the question people ask in English in the summer and in Czech in the winter has nothing in common. You're going to tell me about what we are going to do with that information. The value of that information is pure gold. Why? Because in one hand, you have the ranking of the question by language and by period. On the other hand, because we collect 2,300 data points for every single hotel we are working with, we are going to merge. We are going to merge the question and the answer. When you merge the question and the answer, you have an FAQ. We are going to put these FAQs into the website. On the English page, we are going to put an FAQ in English. On the Czech page, we are going to put an FAQ in Czech, and so on. And these FAQs will be automatically updated every week because the ranking is changing, because you are going to change the price of the breakfast, you name it. And we have created that way what we call dynamic structured data. Dynamic structured data. And the dynamic structured data today is the best information for Google. That means thanks to that, your ranking is going to go on top, but more than this, is going on top before Booking.com, before Expedia, before all the OTAs.
Why it goes before?
Because it's dynamic. And Google is looking for dynamic information because Google will see that this information has been updated within the week. That means probably this information is really, really accurate. And that's true, by the way.
That's fantastic, actually.
It's Harry Potter, you know.
and it's like we talk probably to a lot of hoteliers that are confused, trying to understand more and more and more what actually means power of data and how AI can play. What is the main misconceptions that they bring to you that you need to explain to them?
As you were saying previously, they have no idea about the power of data. okay? Because obviously that's not their job, okay? We try to explain that they have a data somewhere in the mind that has a lot of value, okay? Can you believe that only information that you are in your brain have a lot of value? Can you imagine in the case of that girl who booked the hotel just for a bottle warmer, maybe, we don't know, maybe she asked 2 or 3 different hotels before if they have a bottle warmer, okay? That means once you have this data, to have the information in something, to put the information in the database, it's something else. To provide this database, it's something else also. That means there are 3 steps: collecting the information, putting the information in the database, and distributing the information. 3 different steps. And this is what we're doing thanks to AI.
And now you said something before about data points, collecting data points, right? Mm-hmm. And you mentioned about 2,500 data points, right? I remember when I worked with you guys, were about 300 data points.
At the beginning, it was not 300. At the beginning, it was 700. And we are adding new data point every year. That means more or less we had 300 new data point every year.
And how do you harvest this data points?
Because we are studying the conversation of our client, and we can see the missing data point. Okay, very recently we saw that a lot of people are asking about the price of the laundry. How much does it cost to iron a trouser, something like that? Mm-hmm. Then we have to add in the database for every single clothes the price of the laundry and the price of the ironing. That now it is in the database. Then if you ask Velma what is the price of the ironing of a trouser, she will be able to answer you. Okay.
That's what we call data learning then.
Data learning,
yes. So you just explain about these details of how different. If you're putting, for example, laundry, you're going to have the trousers, you're going to have the jacket, you're going to have the shirt. Can you add information about the spa, Wi-Fi, new promotions? Is that possible to do as well?
Obviously, because we are studying conversation all over the world, what does it mean? That means today, with 2,300 data points, believe me, we cover probably 90% of all the cases, okay? Then it's now we are arriving in the long tail. That means now every single stuff that we are adding is very the details of the details of the details. But in all the cases, in our system, the hotel is able to add. Imagine they create a new restaurant, they can create a new restaurant. They have a new promotion, they can create a new promotion, okay? The system is totally flexible, okay? Because at the beginning, the idea, the vision, was to make an AI for a group of 1,000 hotels with 400 rooms. You see what I mean? That means it has to be absolutely scalable in all the cases, okay?
And you said about before that hoteliers don't understand a lot about data, and this is a difficulty, a challenge for you guys to make them starting to learn and understand. I've heard some hoteliers mentioning that we don't have the budget to have a data engineer here to organize our data or to have. Is it a necessary thing, or is it possible to organize the data of a hotel because they collect a lot of data from amount?
What the hotelier and specifically the group have to keep in mind is they need now, not in the future, they need now a chief knowledge officer. That means a chief knowledge officer is the guy who is going to collect and maintain the data of the hotel. The data, they need the data of the CRM, the data of the booking engine, the data of the client, the data of everything. But the data is the fuel of the AI, and we are entering a world of AI, and if you don't have the accurate data, your AI will be probably very poor, We say rubbish in, rubbish out, okay? That means at the beginning, they have to focus. Obviously, maybe it's not a full-time job for a single hotel, okay? But the hotel need to point someone, say, hey, you are in charge of the data in that company, because the data is gold, okay? And data is king, but data management is King Kong.
I like that. But it's really interesting. I saw a post, I think that was this morning, even after the conference that you guys had yesterday. And some people found it was Nadia Tien writing that your speech in the Hotel Tech conference made him realize how important and why his vision that he has, because he's working with Notion, of having all the data of the hotel structured in some way is crucial for the future. And my understanding is, as today a website and email address is just them thing, and 10 years ago maybe some hoteliers are like, I don't need an email, I don't need a website, and data today is basically that of 10 years ago, and we shouldn't be getting behind. Does it make any difference if the hotels wait to see what's going to happen, or if they jump now on collecting, organizing this data? What's the impact that can happen to that hotel?
Do you play football?
Yes.
Okay, if you are waiting for the ball, you will never have the ball. Okay, it is the same thing in hospitality. If you are waiting for the things to come, you are already dead. Okay, and let's speak about the future maybe. What is the future? Not the future in 10 years. What is going to be the future in the next 18 months or 24 months? After, I have no idea, to be honest with you. But you have a phone here, and on this phone, you will have your personal assistant. Personal assistant provided by Apple, by Google, by Microsoft, by Meta, by you name it, okay? Let's call him Bob, okay? With this personal assistant, you can ask questions to Bob. You can ask Bob to book a flight. If you book a flight, he will tell you, okay, I just checked that your passport is not validated anymore. Maybe you have to renew your passport, okay? Or you are going to book a flight to Paris, and you say, hey, last time you were at that hotel, do you want me to book the same hotel? It's going to be quite autonomous, Bob. Okay. But Bob, sometimes you're going to ask question about the hotel. Say, hey, Bob, can you tell me at what time is the check-in at the Hotel Belle Juliette in Paris? Obviously, Bob is supposed to give you an answer. Where is he going to find the information? He's going to find the information on the web. The problem is that the information on the web is not accurate, because sometimes the check-in is 2 p.m., on another website it's 3 p.m., on another website it's 4 p.m., you never know, okay? Then Bob will have probably difficulties to give you the right answer, okay? That's why we are working to distribute also the data on the web to be sure that all the data are really the same everywhere. That is step number one, okay? But it's only for 20% of the data. That means for the 20% of the question that I really ask more frequently. But for all the others, probably Bob won't be able to find information. You say, hey, Bob, can you tell me what is the dress code of the restaurant at the Hotel Belle Juliette? Say, I'm sorry, I cannot find information, but... When you say but, there is something important after but, okay? But I saw that this hotel has a personal assistant. Do you want to be in touch with them? Yes, okay. In that case, you will not speak with Bob. You will speak directly with Velma. Mm-hmm. And Velma will probably give you the information. Or maybe Bob is going to ask the information to Velma. Okay, can you tell me about that? Yes, Velma will answer Bob, and Bob will answer you. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. The other option is you ask question to Bob, and Bob will make a phone call to the hotel to make a question. But imagine 6 billion of personal assistants making phone call all over the world. It's going to be a nightmare. Imagine the hotel, the phone is going to ring at any time. That means you need an AI to answer that case. Okay, that means an AI will an answer to another AI. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's crazy, okay? And this is the future. And all this future can only exist if you have a really strong, structured database. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're working on today, because it's our duty for the future.
So let's talk about the future.
Definitely.
Yeah. What are the emerging trends that structured data for the hotel industry?
The major trends are, it's not major trend for the future, it was already the trend since we created that. Point number one, it has to be large. Point number two, it has to be easy to manage. Point number three, people has to update it. To be honest with you, the hoteliers have a lot of problem to update information, okay, because they don't have time, blah, blah, blah. But this data is used to feed the AI. This data is used to feed the FAQ. This data is used also to update different websites all over the world. Okay, that means at the end, they won't have the choice. If they want to be really present anywhere on the web, anywhere on the AI world, the first thing they will have to do is to maintain the data. That's why, let's back a little bit earlier, they will really need a chief knowledge officer. Okay. And just to tell you, we have created a concept called KIDS, like the kids. Okay. What does it mean? Knowledge, intelligence, distribution, and synchronicity. What does it mean? Knowledge, the famous database. They need a database. Intelligence, they need an AI. Distribution, they need to share the information to everyone. And synchronicity, this system has to be connected to the PMS, has to be connected to the booking engine, to the task management system, to the CRM, exactly. Okay, these are the 4 points of a very efficient AI.
Kids.
Easy to
remember.
But the kids is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And you just said that the main problems with the hotels is really about updating data. I see over and over and over some of the consultants saying that hotels don't even update their website more than once a year, right? So in your opinion, you think that only by installing a chief knowledge officer they can solve this problem, or somehow they can create a strategy to overcome the challenge of knowledge?
If you want a solution to be used, it has to be simple. Okay? If it's not simple, it will never be used. That's why I forget to tell you already that the database is also feeding the website. That means if you change the price of the breakfast, it's supposed to change everywhere. On the FAQ, on the AI, on the website, on the partner, on the travel agent listing, everywhere. It has to be updated just with one click. Okay? That's frankly the basic of the basic. Okay? And all the hotel have to focus on that because that's the future. And obviously the future, it is in 12 or 18 or 24 months, but they have really to worry about it now. Because if they are thinking about it in 2 years, there will a lot of competition will be really behind them, and they will be able to provide this information to all the people, and they will collect more data. More data means more traffic, means more business. That means the future of the traffic and the future of direct booking is the fact that you can handle very well your data.
Now, one point that I just want to ask, because I see that QuickText is quite business focused, right? It's about revenue. Like, let's get the revenue on the table. Once that LLMs, the large language models came to life, all the hoteliers start to understand that, there is this thing called AI, but they are concerned about language only, marketing copy and how they can translate the language that they don't understand. Can also QuickText help with the marketing, or is just more about the sales and getting the customers?
Alors, QuickText is worrying about the sales because the sale is the bottom line. Okay, it's very important for hotelier. Okay, QuickText help also about the productivity. That means you can speak with Velma, text with Velma, or speak to her and say, I am in the hotel, I have a problem with the air conditioning. Velma understand, I will create a ticket for the maintenance. Okay. On top of that, Velma is creating the famous FAQ that generate more marketing. Velma is able to modify the website, and in very close future, Velma will be able to provide you different websites depending who you are. That means with all the data we have collected, depending your IP, where you are in the world, depending your browser, your language, the day and the hour, there will be a different website. Okay? Because obviously, I'm coming from Paris to Prague. When I'm checking the website, I'm interested in how to get from the airport and the room. But if you are living here in Prague and you are looking at the same website, you want to know the restaurant, the bar, and the rooftop. You and me, we don't have the same interest. But today we are exactly looking at the same website. It's nonsense. In the future, thanks to AI, you will have 2 different websites. Okay, that's the big thing for next year.
Wow. Super. So, Daniel, how can any one of our audience can get in touch with QuickText, learn more about QuickText, get a demo, and see how that thing is working, how Velma works?
Okay, but if Velma works, you can go on Instagram and you can type Velma travel the world. You will be in touch directly with the Instagram of Velma. Velma is an AI, but she has an Instagram with more or less 100,000 followers. That's quite big, okay? You can see the different hotel where she's working, and you can directly test on the hotel, and after you can contact us. QuickText is very easy to find.
And like Velma can connect with social media channels as well?
Yes. Velma is working on Instagram and is working on Facebook and is working also on Line, WhatsApp, Booking.com, so many different channels.
So they can automate all the questions coming from social media. Yes. Velma can actually automate and create tickets and direct bookings.
You know, the question from social media are always the same. I am an influencer.
Can you answer that?
And I want to work with you, blah, blah, blah. It's 80% of the question is already the same. I am an influencer. You know, there's so many influencers. I have a question. Is there an influencer that influenced the influencers?
Like the coaches that are coaching the coaches.
Yeah.
Daniel, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you. That was a pleasure to meet you in person finally.
Yeah, finally.
Thank you so much.
After so much time. Thank you.
Thank you, Chile. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.